Hey, I'm here with Regina Johnson. I'm Seth Dawkins, and I'm here to ask her a couple questions. This is my academic advisor here at the university for the football team. And yeah, here we go. Um, so, what do you think? What do you do here at the university?
Okay, like you said, I'm the academic advisor for the football program. I've been here for 4 years, and my main objectives are to set up class schedules every semester, to monitor all of your all's grades, and to make sure that you are academically on track of where everything you need to do. And of course, is for y'all to graduate.
Do you think most of your students are intrinsically or extrinsically motivated, and why?
Academically, I think they're more excuse the word, but just more motivated externally, if I can just go ahead and use that word, because a lot of your teammates do not like school. So it's just kind of like, so it's just me trying to motivate them and encourage them they can do the work. Because to the point, a lot of them are have low self-esteem when it comes to school because of just insecure about it. Just they feel like they don't know the answer, even though they actually do know the answer. Just critical thinking, just sometimes it's just hard for them. So it's me trying to actually motivate me, my tutors, other professors, everyone, just trying to motivate them that they can do this work, they can be successful academically, and just getting the job done.
Do you think negative or positive feedback produces better results for your students?
I think it's both. Like, a perfect example, just today, I had to pretty much put my foot in some of the guys' butts today because they're not performing at the expectation I know they can perform. So that negative feedback actually got them to come into study hall earlier than they normally do because they don't want that disappointment feel. And that's where, again, with me, relationships are important because I'm disappointed in them. So now they feel like they have to kind of regroup themselves and come back in here and do what they need to do to make sure they meet that standard that I have of theirs. And then the other part, positive. Of course, my thing is you can't always be negative. You always have to bring in the positive. I'm always congratulating them. Oh, you got an A on the test. High five. Shoot, if I know they studied hard and got a C on the test, high fives. Like, so it's just the positive feedback is definitely important because it encourages them and let them know that's part of that whole motivation piece that this can be done. It's not as hard as you make it out to be.
And when it comes to like necessary, like if you need to give somebody negative feedback, is it like necessary to punish them, like to get the best out of your students? You think like it's necessary for punishment?
I think it's necessary for the most part. I feel like, but it depends on what the punishment is. Like, I mean, if it's going to actually make a difference where they won't do it again, then of course. But if it's going to be like some flimsy kind of situation and it's just not effective, then no, then it's no need. But we have to come to a middle ground for something to get the student on track to do what they need to do. So, but punishment though is kind of like what I've learned working with football is making your time inconvenient. One year we had a strength coach that would have some players who didn't come to study hall or class. Their punishment was to come to the weightlifting room 4 in the morning and clean it. So so who wants to do that, right? So it's kind of like, oh no, I can't do that. So it depends. So it's not necessarily y'all actually going out there and running. Y'all in the best shape in your lives. What I'm gonna do is make y'all run some laps after practice. Okay, that's one thing. But cleaning, getting you up 4:00 in the morning, yeah, you won't. I won't see that too much.
Yeah,
so that was a long time ago.
This goes along with like punishment. If one of your students miss class, like what do you make them do, or like what's some of the punishments that they have to go through?
Well, they get another day of study hall, which is on Sundays during the football season. So that's part of the punishment. And then it's whatever so they go on the list. Their coach is notified of the miss. and whatever strength coach gets them to do, if it's Jacob's ladder or if it's running extra laps after practice or whatever they decide to do here. So it's kind of left up to the coaches, whatever they want that punishment to be.
All right, and this goes along with the question earlier, but do you think it's better for your students to be motivated intrinsically or extrinsically?
It would be great if they were internally motivated, because then I feel like that's the standard that they already have for themselves. And then I'm just the support of that. But if I have to be 100% externally motivating them, then that's kind of like it's more work on my behalf, because I feel like I do that with to be honest, I feel like I do that with more of my like nephews who are like young, who don't genuinely know, other than with somebody who's possibly insecure with their schoolwork. So I just feel like I'd rather someone to be more internally, but if not, I'm here to balance all that out for them. So.
Do you think that getting rewards for getting good grades would produce better results, like for your students?
Do I think? Say it again one time.
Like, do you think getting rewarded for getting like good grades would produce like better results in the future?
Not really. I mean, at this age, you're in college. Like, you're not a kid, so it's just kind of like the expectation is for you to pass the class. Your reward is you getting your degree. So it's kind of like, this is what the mission is for. This is why. This is what you're here to do, as well as play your sport. So again, I'm here. I want all of you all to find that balance of how to be the best you can be on the field, but also be the best person you can be off the field. I feel like there's been time, even beyond the academic piece, I feel like as a man, I want you to be better than when you first came here 2 months ago. So I hope for you to be here. I hope for you to be great after your whole 4 years here. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
What are some of the most challenging things you face while being an academic advisor here?
Number one, laziness. Laziness is a very hard component. I have very, very intelligent students, but their grades are reflected negatively because of their laziness. And that's probably one of the hardest things for me to help motivate someone to actually want to do this. With laziness, that means that you don't care. For some of them, that's even when you feel like the student feels like they don't have really have a purpose. That actually taps into their whole psychological aspect of it. So that's why we actually have other people here to kind of help with that when they feel hopeless about some things. Other challenges, obviously learning challenges. So if they are ADHD, dyslexic, or some other type of learning disabilities that they have. So this is why we have great relationships with the DRC here at the university to be the best what they can do, be the best they can put forth academically. So just trying to do that for them. There's a lot of challenges. Even like family, I see y'all more than I see my own people at home. So it's just kind of like that relationship that we built together. I want to make sure that you grow. Just maturity levels. There's a lot of factors. A lot of factors that kind of plays a part. Maturity levels are definitely kind of interesting. And then on top of that, testosterone levels here is ridiculous. So it's kind of like, so when y'all kind of like butt heads all the time and y'all starting to fight, it's just kind of like finding that whole balance of everything here. So it's just a lot of factors that goes on that can be challenging around you guys.
Can you tell the difference between like a freshman and a senior in study hall, and like whose work ethic is better, or like who does who's more productive?
The difference between freshman and like a upperclassman, a lowerclassman, or a freshman. Yes, but then again, freshman wise, I can tell from your upgrade that the reason why I kind of pay attention to you all because y'all come directly from home, so I watch where your upbringing comes from. So I kind of lay a foundation of like, okay, where are you from? What's your background? Okay, your maturity level, where is this? Were you kind of by yourself at home? Are you more emotional? Kind of like that. Can you handle yourself? Like, or you just come to college and you just out here, just doing whatever. But by the time you're junior year, you should found yourself by then. So it's just kind of like watching, see how much have you improved, how much you matured. Now, if I still can say that you're still that dumb person that I met your freshman year, then we have a problem. But if I can say that you can actually grow, that you're more accountable, that I can depend on you to handle your own business, then that's where I kind of see it's like that's where the difference comes in. But I hope I don't see the same pattern. Like that will be a problem with me.
Do you see a difference in work ethic, like off the field, when the team is winning?
Ooh. Everyone's different. I actually have a student right now who's having probably one of his best seasons of his life, and his ego, not Lamar, his ego has gone up to here, and it's just like, wow. But then again, when he's playing bad, he's okay. His ego goes up to here winning, but he kind of says for skip school. So it's not like he's winning, then your grades go up. Like what almost statistics says, sometimes when they're winning and they have one of their best seasons, I'm gonna forget about everything else. I'm gonna just focus on this because this is what I came here for. And so everything else kind of falls into the back. So now we're trying to wheel all that back in. But then again, I have some students like yourself that, having good seasons, doing whatever they can do, even the good games, bad games, but they know they haven't maintained this one level here to make sure it's good. So it's definitely some of those factors. Every person's different. Like, I understand those studies, and I understand why people would think that would work. That's not always the case. Everybody's different.
And I forgot to ask you this, but why do you do what you do? Like, why are you an academic advisor?
It's a passion of mine. I have a great passion of working with student athletes. It's actually stemmed from my father. My father played basketball at the University of Tennessee, and he was there. He played basketball for 4 years, got drafted to the NBA, lived his NBA life and everything. But when it was time to work the work life, I found out that he never earned his degree. I was like, how you go to college for 4 years and not earn your degree? So it was time for me to go to college, and he wanted to go to college. So kind of do this like father-daughter kind of situation. And he wanted me to look at his transcript. I looked at it. I was in awe of all the garbage classes they put this man in just for him to win all these SEC championships and all these things. But they did not set him up appropriately as a university to get his degree. He would actually, for him to be at the university for 4 years, he would actually had to go another 2 years to finish his degree. And then my dad was like in his late 40s. He was like, I'm not doing that. He thought he only needed a few classes. He needed 2 years more. And so that kind of motivated me. No, it did not it did motivate me that there's so much more for you guys, and I want to make sure y'all get what you deserve here. Like, y'all play a sport for a university. At least the university can give you a degree back. So that's why I do what I do.
All right, and the final question, why is making sure students graduate your main focus? Like, I know it goes along with what you just said about your dad, but like, what's another reason why that's your main focus?
Because I want you all to know that you all don't have to have just a plan A. Some of y'all are stuck in this plan A football. I don't know if I can make it. There's so much more to you all as a football player. There's so much more to you all as a man. And there's so much more to you all as you're just a human being here. And I feel like you all I feel like I help you all find yourselves in those aspects of being accountable, being responsible, and again, becoming a better man with your degree. You're limitless. Nobody can take that from you. So that's my main focus for any of you all, just to make sure you all get that little piece of paper, that nice little piece of paper, but then also pursue all your other dreams. So I don't have to come see you back